Welcome back to 100 Days of Nice. Today I'm reporting on day 29, and the nurturing self talk of the day was I nurture life within and around me. What inspired this was that because of all the news around COVID-19, it's also a big part of the discussion and a lot of the work that I do, helping people manage their anxieties and fears and panics and stress around it, and just the way that I cannot be on any type of electronic device without being bombarded with it. It's difficult to even go outside and take a walk. Like people are even writing messages about it in like the sidewalk talk. It's like everywhere you go, you're being bombarded with this message, and often that message is also associated with death and just being thrown information about death rates and all of these things, and fear for death and anxiety. Just being bombarded with that was having a huge impact on me, and I knew that I needed to create some balance. So I chose to allow myself to be in a little bubble for a day so that I can recharge and just create a little bit of balance within myself. So I stayed off of my electronics for that day, and I was doing, I guess you could call it, I don't know if it counts to be called gardening if it's indoors, but I have several plants. These are just a couple. I have like 20 plus plants in this room. And I was just focusing on attending to them. I invited my daughter to help in, and it was our science project that we were focusing on the day. So we were cutting some of the leaves of some. We started propagating a few. We put some little baby ones that were growing in some into other smaller pots. And we were just doing a lot of gardening activities. And I just because of all the death, like I needed to focus on something that was creating life, even if it was creating life in the source of plants. And so that was just something that it was very enjoyable. I, I'm kind of going all over the place today, but the emotional intelligence piece, I felt a lot of curiosity. I wasn't raised in a home with a lot of plants, so I don't know a lot about it. So when I was going on the internet, it was to YouTube to look up specifically how to propagate different types of plants or what to do with that. So I was educating myself. So just that curiosity and just learning a little bit more about plants was it. And I just felt like a lot of joy for the day. I I forgot for a moment that we were in the middle of a health pandemic, and I was just laughing, I was having fun, I was focusing on life and literally creating more life in the form of plants. So um, let's go through. So we talked about the nurturing self-talk. The integrity practice was the gardening. It was spending that quality time with my children. We also, as a family, spent time outdoors, exercising in the sun. So we were getting that vitamin D, we were getting that fresh oxygen, and spending time together as a family outdoors was how we were nurturing the life within and also around us. The C, um, what I'm really impressed by, the compliment I suppose I'm going to give myself that also applies to each and every one of you, is that your focus has untapped power. Once it came to the end of the day and I like allowed myself to get back on my social media and all of those other things, I was shocked by how my focus on just spending time with my family and spending time making plant babies, like my focus on that completely changed my mindset and like my state of reality. I was not at all thinking about all of the craziness. I quite literally created a bubble, not literally, but I did create a bubble around myself and my family. And for a day, everything that was happening in the world didn't matter. And that just brought to my intention how powerful and how untapped the power of our focus is. that also works in the reverse. The more we continue to focus on what we don't want, the more we allow space for what we don't want to breed itself, to continue to feed, to multiply. So that was kind of like a aha moment that I had at the end of the day when I kind of came back to reality, I suppose. So I felt a lot of joy, I felt a lot of curiosity, and it was so refreshing to have that break. I was able to come back to the reality of the world we live in with a higher level of enthusiasm, joy, energy, focus, and groundedness, and remembering our life, nature, works in cycles, works in seasons, and what we are going through right now is horrific, and it also won't last forever. And what we choose to put our focus on is what is going to predict what the other side of this looks like. So, what is it that you would like to choose to put your focus on to ensure that that is what you're ultimately building for yourself and those around you? All right, I'll see you again soon.